If you are a dumpster rental company and you want to see the dirty things these other dumpster rental companies are doing, you want to check out what's going on here with Dumpster Dogs. I'm Dennis Yu, and I'm a former search engine engineer. I'm going to show you some of the stuff where other people might be stealing from you and what Google is doing about that. So let's take a look here at Grind Time. And you might look at their site saying, well, it looks like a normal dumpster rental company. I mean, how would you know what they're actually doing? But when you have these SEO tools, you can see, for example, that they had a lot of these rankings and then it just fell off a cliff here. Now, what happened? Well, let's take a look at these keywords. Now, they did have hundreds of keywords before, but you can see over here, cost to rent, porta potty, all these other city name, dumpster rental, Buddha, which is what, south of Austin by a little bit. And here you see this red, lost, -4, lost. They're just bleeding. So red is bad. They have lost all of these terms. And this is what happens when you do tricks. So whenever you hear these SEO people or you see these guys on Fiverr claiming that for $10 they can buy a whole bunch of links or generate pages, or AI experts claiming some magic thing, they're as believable as like those lose 20 pounds in 20 days weight loss people, okay? Now, why is that? Well, let's take a look at where their links are coming from, and let's take a look at the content that they have. And let's see whether we think that this fool's cool. Now, you can see that there are a couple legitimate links. By the way, links are votes. So reviews are votes, links are votes, engagement, people watching your YouTube videos, those are all votes. Those are all signals. So links used to be the most powerful signal. Now it's maybe the second most after behavioral traffic. So yeah, it's showing Austin Civic Orchestra. There's, the Austin Chamber. So that's good. It shows you're actually involved locally. They also want to show dumpster rental related sorts of terms. But now look, you can tell that they bought a bunch of these spammy links. Now, just because spam links are showing up doesn't mean that they were purchased. Often people will do something called Google Bowling, where they buy links on behalf of their competitors, like buy links from porn sites. But that doesn't cause harm anymore because Google knows people do that. But when you see a lot of things that are kind of tangential and are from other sites that like sort of look relevant but aren't, but you can tell that don't rank on anything, no ranking, no traffic, no authority, then, well, something's going on, right? Another way, if you're using any of these tools, I'm using Ahrefs, but there's a different, I mean, you use this one, SEMrush, those are the main two. There's tons of other ones, but really there's only two that provide decent data. We'll take a look at best links only. So there's 536 here. If we look at the ones that actually carry power and some relevance, you'll see they have 19. That's not bad. And you can see that they're trying to keyword inject, because here they're putting Austin dumpster rental service, Grime Time dumpster rental. This one looks natural. This looks natural, but you can see a lot of these other ones. Who's going to actually anchor text on good dumpster rental company? On all these other ones, you'll see the same thing. Now, what tricked me initially about Taylor James, who owns Dumpster Dogs, who's also in Austin, is that when I looked for dumpster dogs, I saw this dumpster dogs rental, a dumpster rental dogs, which is trying to fool people on who's the dumpster dog. It's just like when I was in China, they had these knockoff Nike shoes, except they were called Nike, but it looked the same, but it was an M instead of an N, and people bought these shoes. And I think it's the same thing here where people rip you off. And so at first I thought, well, what's going on here with this site? Now, this is just a broker or somebody, right? Who's just trying to steal off of Taylor's good name. And so I see these backlinks and I see the same kind of nonsense that's happening here. Look at this. You can tell someone's intentionally trying to trick the search engine instead of doing what's right. And look at what's happened in just the last couple weeks. They've lost most of this traffic that they had. And if you look at the top pages that are ranking, so imagine you don't have to be a search engine engineer, which is like, follow me on this. Keywords. So if I want to rank on 15-yard dumpster rental, then I should have a page that actually matches the intent of 15-yard dumpster rental. So the more content you have that's actually relevant and has links towards it to develop trust, the more those pages can potentially rank. So we see here that they've created a whole bunch of these pages: dumpster rental Frisco, dumpster rental every single city name. This is what a lot of people do, thinking that this is somehow going to trick Google, but it actually doesn't, and doesn't get any traffic. Most of these are going to show as basically high spam content. Like if we go back to Grime Time and we look at their content, in this case under top pages, we'll see AI content level. All the AI tools will tell you this. It's basically high, right? You think you're fooling people. You think that you're like, oh, our tool can beat ChatGPT. I don't think so, right? And so what you see is when people do these kinds of tricks, they will initially get a bump, which looks great, and then they always get penalized. They always do. And I can tell you this over, it's been 30 years. I see the bodies come and go. Now, if you look at the actual dumpster docs, which we will link to in our accompanying article, it's DD Waste. He doesn't have a lot of domain authority. In this case, only a 3. You might think, well, because he doesn't have any links. I think most of it's coming from the Blitzmetrics link, actually. Mm-hmm. But if you look at the keywords that he has, and you look at the rankings, look, instead of all red, it's green. Green, 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 green. These are all moving up from nothing to 10, from nothing to 7, from nothing. And there could be different reasons for why that is. But what I want you to see is this. These terms that are coming up, dumpster rental in Austin, Texas, is a clear local intent search term. And so it's showing it's transactional, it's local intent, it's informational, it's commercial. Like I love seeing this light up like that. And it's also tied to the entity of Austin. So what is an entity? An entity is a person, place, thing, product, location. It's a noun. And all these nouns are tied together in Google's knowledge graph, which is their big database. They have to associate all the information, attributes against the nouns, entities that are in the knowledge graph, right? All the objects are tied together, right? Like a big molecule. So these look healthy to me. So when I see dumpster rental Austin, which is not the same thing as dumpster rental company Austin or other places, roll off dumpster rental Austin, that's good, right? We're moving up. But where we're going to improve this for Taylor is, notice the weight is being carried by, like this one, roll off dumpster rental Austin. Keyword difficulty is medium 24, but most of these are green, they're low. But notice, Taylor, this is being carried by the homepage. That's too much weight for the homepage to try to carry. So if we did it properly, we should have a page for roll-off dumpster rental in Austin and have examples of roll-off dumpsters. And I don't know anything about it. I mean, Josh Roman knows way more about this. I'm sure he'll share this video with other people. So we can see like this one here, there's 100 people per month looking for that. That's worth going after, right? And because we are in position 6, which is brand new, we are getting 9 of these 100 people, which is not bad. But obviously, if we're in position 1 to 3, it's a lot better. We'd have to pay $6.38 per click on average, depending on different factors. What we pay Google Ads. Of course, Google wants you to pay, but it's not that we love SEO. It's that we'll take the leads from wherever they come, paid or organic. The overall mix, the blend based on quality cost is how you look at it overall, kind of like a stock portfolio. Okay, so now if we look up Taylor James dumpster dogs, and we want to look up dumpster dogs too, not the other dumpster dogs, which these parasite sites that try to pretend to be, his site. But what's interesting is that the first thing that shows up is the image of when I interviewed him. And this article, how Taylor James built dumpster dogs. And then we also built Taylor-James. So all of you guys should have a website for your company name, for your personal name. Why? Because those are other entities. Because you're an entity, all your team members are entities. If you're the owner, by definition, I'm a private, introvert kind of guy. Yeah, but you're an entrepreneur by definition. You are the face of the company, whether you like it or not. And so Taylor, even though his wife's named Taylor and there's James Taylor, he has his Facebook and LinkedIn and all that for his company and for him. Someone submitted some PR a couple of years ago. This doesn't work. Let's see what's over here, right? It's fine. You can submit PR, but just don't. PR is a temporary hit. Google knows when it's PR, okay? So when we see Forbes Inc. Entrepreneur, you can do it for $100. Some people will pay $10,000 not realizing you can just pay $100 for that, okay? contact my buddy Nixon Lee of Spine PR if you want to do it for $100. Okay, so he's got all these different signals that are here because he's showing up on multiple socials because this stuff is getting views. And I think there's a lot of people don't realize, and Josh Roman and all of our dumpster friends know this, is that when you push stuff to YouTube, that sends a signal that they see as legit, just like Reddit is sending a strong signal for ChatGPT, believe it or not, right? So if your crews are out there, they're using like a company cam or using their cell phones and they're collecting videos and they're posting that on their Instagram and their YouTube and Facebook and all that, and it's tied to this dumpster dogs, and your crews and you are associated back with your company. Now, this is not our dumpster dogs guy. We should report them. In fact, we're going to report, not the Austin Marriott, that's where I just was. We're going to report Grime Time because their Google My Business is not on a correct address and they violate Google standards for Google Business Profile. And there's a form you can ask ChatGPT for it or not that will. Some people get mad in the SEO space saying, oh, you shouldn't tattle on other people. That's bad. Like, no, I asked Google friends about that and they said, no, we're just here upholding the standards. And if people don't want to abide by the standards, then, we count on you guys to let us know. And a lot of people don't like it when I report people. But it helps friends of mine who are doing it the right way. And how do we know he's doing it the right way? Watch the video of Taylor and I going through his audit, his site, how things are improved. And you can use your favorite SEO tools to see for yourself what's going on DD Waste, because look at this. Look at this. Now, remember what we saw on these other guys who were cheating? You guys all know people that cheat. What happened with these guys that were cheaters? Grime Time. We're not going to link the Grime Time in the article because that's a vote. That's passing them juice. That makes us look bad if we vote for people who are breaking the rules, right? That hurts us, actually. Well, when this thing loads, you're going to see they got destroyed, which is what I just showed you earlier. So when you see other people speed and other people break the law, and you might think, how are they getting away with this? Yeah, they are, but just wait. This is what happens to people, and we always get the last laugh. Yeah, they got away with it over here. And then what happened? What happened, bro? Oh, but it was working so well. Google made all these changes, and then they... So whenever you hear people talk about that, that means they're always playing some kind of trick. Well, there's no tricks happening here. And in fact, the more Google makes changes, the more we benefit. So shout out to Taylor James of Dumpster Dogs, who's doing things the right way and understands that you build location service pages. You actually show your guys in action. Actually, no stock art, like actually your pictures, actually your Google business profile. You don't have to have the most reviews. You just need to have the best reviews that are real reviews that are in the last 60 days. The last 60 days, the number of reviews is more important than your total reviews, right? Talked about that. I'm a level 9 reviewer. In fact, if you want to know, you can look at my profile and see that I think I've got like 36 million. What do I have a lot. I literally get millions of views on my stuff. Just crazy. Like, look at this. Oh, so by the way, you want to rank better in Google Maps? Even though you're a service-based business and people don't come to your location, if your guys, have to navigate back to the yard and they put your business name, like Dumpster Dogs, into Google Maps and use that for maps and directions, that sends a signal to Google. So have your crews do that every morning and every evening. Always use Google Maps, not Apple Maps, Google Maps. Okay. And then look, and so like I take pictures and like we love to have meetings. We just had a meeting here with Austin and Taylor. Like we went to Fogo, there's one downtown. I get millions of views on these things. And that helps because I'm a level 9 reviewer. I get millions, right? You don't have to be a big deal. But all your customers, all your team members, they should be using Google Maps to navigate. Do this for your favorite businesses, and that sends them a nice little boost that then if you improve your content, like Josh Roller and I have been talking about, and you show proof that your guys do the thing that they do, and here's a 20-yard trailer, and here's a new truck, and we're going to Josh Roman's conference, and like here we are in downtown, or we're doing junk removal and we're doing landscaping and snow removal, like whatever you're doing, show all that, grab it from your photos or your company cam. And then, like here, I was in Vegas yesterday and I made a bunch of photos and videos interviewing other people in the HVAC space, right, at this conference. So I have real proof of this, right? Here's one of the big companies that does the field service management tools, right? And so when you have a lot of there, my buddy Marco's making videos, I'm buying steak, we're doing, making like all this stuff, speaking at conferences. This is my buddy Billy Klein, garage door, Billy Doorman Klein, and we were having a meeting at this steak place. I forgot what it's called, but there's real proof of me having steak and also eating desserts, getting fat. So when you see proof of these things, there's our buddy Kurt Box in San Antonio. You can see where it is, right? There's real proof. I can even say, I can look up Lost Leads too. You don't know you'll do that. And I can see that there are pictures of us from Portland. And we were eating flour or donuts, and that's 2014. We were eating donuts in Portland. Do you remember that? Yeah. And it's all being tracked by Google. So don't you think that if you want to rank in Google and you use Google Photos and use Google Maps and use Gmail and all that, that might send a nice signal back to Google? Yeah. That's what we like to do, right? We like to show that if you're real, if you believe in reputation, your teams do good work, you're not going to be worried about the algorithm getting smarter. You're not going to be worried about AI overviews and all that, the ChatGPT having more recommendations. You're going to see this, and this will continue to go up because the good guys win. That's what you want. And if you found this helpful, if you are pissed at your SEO company, you're not sure what's going on, you think it's magic, reach out to me or any of our people. We're happy to do one of these audits, and we want you to take control of your marketing. Give Taylor James a holler because he's doing things the right way. And if he can do it and Josh Roman can do it, you can do it too. Anyway, let me know. Leave a like, share, comment.